Show is sponsored by Sinlaw, the most realistic artificial grass in the Central Valley.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office and now behind the mic at KXEX, this is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty!
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat, Taco Tuesday. And on Facebook, we're streaming about an hour early. He can't wait. He's so excited, Chewy cannot wait. All right, Chewy, I want you to really lay into this one now. Lay into it. Show us what you mean. Oh, she'll thank you, Guillermo. Oh, now, to make it complete, if I only had Howard Dean. If I only had Howard.
Seek and you shall receive. Our expert,
Supposed to say,
our
Okay.
expert engineer over there.
breathe deeply. Meditation, 6 count in, 6 count out. Ooh, so see your breath. Watch your breath come from its mouth. Robert Leone,
Hey,
welcome
boss.
to Taco Tuesday. Guillermo Marino,
you.
the disembodied voice that you will hear.
Hey, someone's got to keep the
How do you
sounds.
disembody that voice from that beautiful body of yours, that godlike, that Greek godlike body?
Keep going.
Yeah?
Keep
Well,
going.
he doesn't eat the bad stuff that we eat. That's why.
You know what Pete Meehouse told me one time when I was mayor after about 3 years, because I ate. I mean, you get invited out to different things, and
Pete Meehouse,
food's
yeah.
free, man. I was packing on, didn't realize it packing on. Pete Meehouse, the local legend, God rest his soul, was the Office of Education head for many years. Just a great patriot, great guy, great mentor, not only for me, but many here in Fresno. But he says, in Greek through and through, went to Greece every year. And he says, Alan, when you took office, you look like a Greek god. Now you just look like a damn Greek. Now, I can say that because he said it. I can quote him. But welcome, hour early on social media. I hope you found us. Hope you're listening live. If not, we will be on there in perpetuity, which means forever, right? Guillermo?
Yeah. Yes. In
Right?
perpetuity.
Unless they start making you drop stuff off. Isn't that amazing? You can post stuff up, and it'll last at least. I mean, did they ever run out of room on the internet?
Not on cloud.
Huh?
No, I don't think so.
They've got to run out of room. Nothing is infinite except infinity. When are you going to get that? Well, we've just, we've got the last video we can load. We're going to have to start deleting. Then who do you delete?
As they say in 2000.
I'll have to ask Al Gore. He invented it, so.
Yeah, Al Gore invented it. You know who invented it? Do you know who invented it?
The internet?
Yeah.
Al Gore.
Well, outside of Al.
Oh,
Who Al worked with hand in hand. Do you know?
No.
The U.S. military.
That is true. I do know that.
The U.S. military. You know where this will make you happy. You know where they got the technology in the military?
China?
From Al Gore.
Aliens.
Here we go.
From the planet Nuka-Heath.
Area 51.
Well,
There's a planet called Nuka-Heath. Nuka-Heath is about 900 light years from Uranus.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Well, it's Taco Tuesday, man. I'm just trying to help you guys become more informed. That's what the left hates, a more informed public. Trying to do my duty to battle the woke
Hey,
attack.
let me ask you this.
You're trying to change subjects on me, aren't you?
Well,
please do. Please give me. I'm a mess from the time Chewy answered the phone, man.
No, you're talking about the woke left. I know a lot of folks who are obviously not as conservative as we, who are real patriots. They're honest, hardworking folks, and they're great people. You know them, Guillermo. You know them. But I heard a commentator the other day, and I can't remember where I heard it, that said, now this is not my words. These are his words. Anyone who votes for Joe Biden is not a patriot for his country. He will, if Biden wins, there'll be 4 more years of the same thing. And I thought, boy, that's pretty harsh. But what are your guys' opinions on that?
Well, in terms of Tater, he sounds more like an elite Tater, not a commentator.
So what did this guy say, Bob?
Huh?
He said anyone who votes for Joe Biden is not a true patriot to the country and is willing to put up with 4 more years of this administration and all of their flaws and the things that they don't do for the good of the American people. I thought that was a pretty sweeping statement.
What kind of occupation does this individual have?
I can't remember. I saw it on TV somewhere.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was a college professor that we...
No.
Okay.
But
who we love dearly.
He did tell me the other day that he likes Joe Biden's policies.
He likes inflation.
And
he likes open borders.
But see,
what case does he make for... Seriously, Guillermo, what case could be made positively for open borders?
I don't know. I didn't ask him because it would lead to a long and involved fight, and I didn't feel like getting in a fight at that point.
Well, is it not like...
A verbal jousting was not...
Well, I'm going to make a comparison. Tell me where I'm wrong with the comparison. We have folks on the left that listen to this show and support.
And they're good people.
Good people.
I mean, come on.
And it's like Reagan said, it's not that folks on the left are dumb. It's just that they know so much about what isn't so. It is, I think, an absolute corollary, absolute example, nexus, if you will, to this analogy, if you will. Would you right now listening, I'm talking right into the camera for social media, whatever side of the spectrum you're on, let me just ask you this one question. Would you allow hundreds, I'm going to put it, would you even allow 10 people in your home that you didn't have any idea who they are, where they came from, why they're at your house, and what their intentions are? They just knock. In fact, they don't even knock on the door. They just come, open the door, and you say, well, this is my house. You can't, it's against the law to come in, and they don't care. They just come into your home. Would that be a problem with you? Well, the answer, it's a rhetorical question. Absolutely, you would have a problem with that. I'm for immigration. I know you guys, we've talked about it at length off, for legal, orderly, legal immigration. You go through the process. Does it need to be reformed to make it probably a little bit easier to get in? Absolutely, because the immigration system is fixed. It's rigged. In fact, most illegal immigration, up until this recent surge, most illegal immigration came in through, El Paso, Juarez, Tijuana, and down in San Diego, through the system letting people in that had paid, whether it was a farm labor contractor or whomever. They had some pull someplace, and they just wrote in with the right license number, the right code word to tell the guard. That is true. I know that for a fact. I saw it. I know the people. Okay? How they're going to come at me and want to arrest me, I guess. But I know the people have done that brought whole families over here to work out in the fields, the families of one of their top workers. So I know that to be true. But how can you make a case on the woke left for inflation? Okay, you somehow think that's good to triple the price of necessities like eggs, gas, bread, what have you. But they make for the open border. I just don't understand. I haven't heard a rational explanation.
I know what it is. It's guilt. The entire premise of open borders is just the mere fact that the U.S. is doing a lot better than any country in North America, for sure. and doing better than most of the world. So it's this idea of, hey, we got to do our part. We got to take in as many as we can. And I'm not saying I agree with this, but I'm just saying this is, I think,
no, that's what I'm asking.
Their
What
mentality.
do you think
that's their mentality, for sure.
You think it's guilt?
I think it's guilt. But it's the other thing where they honestly believe that America can absorb it. They genuinely believe that America can absorb probably a couple million every single year. Now, the problem is that it's, how does the saying go? For thee, but not for me.
Yeah.
So it's more like America can do it. I can't, but America can. And I think that's the mentality. And I think their mentality has been this. Look at previous generations and look at the amount of immigrants that have come to the U.S., and they do fine. And I think I heard, I think it was on Brian Kilmeade this morning, they were saying, 10% are bad. 10% are bad, but the 90 are good. So they do this effort where it's like, 10% is not a lot. You get 90 good, you're going to get 10%. So I think that's how they justify it. But at the end of the day, I think they honestly believe America can absorb it.
Robert, do you have anything to add to that? Do you agree with Guillermo, or do you have a...
Well, I think it's I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I certainly think it's that. The interesting thing is when I talk to our friend, and folks, you have to understand that our good friend who we grew up with was a college professor for 39 years and extremely liberal. And in a brief discussion last night, he said, things are getting better in the country. We still have prices that are too high at the supermarket, and gas is a little high. But I can handle that. Well, of course you can. He's making a great pension, and his wife is still working for the university full time. So he's one of these social, educated elites who places himself above the fray, and just doesn't matter what inflation is to me. I don't care what gas costs.
I don't feel it that bad.
I don't care what gas
No,
costs.
I don't mean me. I'm just talking about him. Those people just think
he's above the fray.
I can deal with it,
And
so everybody
again,
else should be able to.
I didn't feel like getting into a long, involved verbal fisticuffs with the guy. But my first thought was, well, yeah, Bob, but you can afford it. What about the guy that's out there working 3 jobs, trying to feed a family of 4? And
you
his
just
wife,
outed him,
His wife was working. I'm sorry.
But go ahead.
But
I'm sure your former friend is listening.
yeah, our former friend.
I didn't say anything. But we got to have him on here because we love him.
But I think Guillermo has a good point. Yeah, having a short porch and right.
Before he went crazy politically.
Short porch and right. And I think it's partly guilt. I'm not sure what the other reasons are for. Look, if the current administration wanted to do something, they could do it. Mm-hmm. Biden could do it with the stroke of a pen.
Yeah.
So you have to sit here and ask yourself, okay, they don't want to do anything. And this comes back to your point, I guess, that it's all rigged.
I'm much more cynical than you all. And, they talk about conspiracy theorists, this, conspiracy theorists, that. When it turns out to be true, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. And if a conspiracy turns out to actually, in fact, be fact, then it's taken out of that realm of some conspiracy theorists as if, you're just making up some fantasies. When on this show, and I took a lot of heat from it, right from the get-go said, I find it very hard for me in my brain to wrap around what we're being told, that this COVID virus that's all over the world originated from somebody eating a raw bat at a wet market. It just didn't sound right. But I was okay. All right, prove it to me. CDC, China, you've said that's where it came from. You're ground zero. I'll wait on the information, even though I'm a little skeptical about it. This virus is weird. We've got viruses from bats, from other animals, the swine flu, so-and-so. A lot of viruses are transmitted from animals to human beings. That's nothing new. But eating a raw bat giving you this virus that's killing people. And then as time goes on, you find out they name it the Wuhan. They're in Wuhan, in the wet market at Wuhan. But you find out just a stone's throw away, is the Wuhan laboratory testing COVID virus and performing gain of function, which means to make the virus more deadly in the pursuit of creating a vaccine for it. So it's obviously probably being developed as a future weapon, of which we were investing your head around that.
Yeah.
And then you find out that now the CDC even says, and all the experts say, that it 90% chance that it came from that Wuhan laboratory. Now, was I a conspiracy theorist, if you say that now? I mean, there were people who were getting canceled for even suggesting that. The Hunter Biden laptop, the conspiracy that he may be compromised on that board, and that on that laptop was some very incriminating evidence about the son, the president, who may be sheltering a lot of money, becoming rich on his daddy's name, with countries in Eastern Europe which historically have not been the greatest allies that we've had.
Russia.
Exactly. So if I stood by that, and someone on this show that I love dearly and intelligent and so smart, he's got more brains in his little finger, I got my whole body, told me, and we got to dig up the records, that Hunter Biden thing is nothing. And I said, I'm going to let you see. You can't wait to pounce. He's got a nice looking haircut, by the way. You can't see him. I wish you were on camera right now. That is a really good haircut. Okay. All right. Jump in here. Everything pointed to the fact that this was a real laptop. It was really Hunter Biden's, and the porno pictures were real, not AI. And all the emails sent to world leaders and demanding money and basically bribing people was on there. And the fact that you had emails referencing the big guy getting a cut. I mean, the big guy certainly wasn't sent 10% to Donald Trump. I mean, there was you're a conspiracy theorist, Autry. I mean, you can go down, there's three or four more that I've borne out to be right on this show. And I know I didn't get several parts because I was talking about this that I was up for. They Google it, and there I am saying that I don't believe that the COVID virus came from a wet market. Well, don't hire him. Let's hire somebody more that's easy, that's less controversial. Go ahead, Guillermo. I was kidding about the Hunter Biden.
Well, I never said the Hunter Biden laptop wasn't real.
You didn't.
I always knew it was real. I just said it wasn't
going to amount to anything.
It wasn't, and it still hasn't.
What?
It still hasn't.
The guy is looking at 20 years in prison.
But it's not going to amount to anything for him, maybe.
The special counsel they recharged him, and he's got like $5 or $6 million that he can't account for. And step by step, they're getting closer to Joe Biden. Today, I guess it was admitted by Biden's team that Joe did discuss with Jim Biden the people in China, the company in China, on which Joe is on camera over and over and over, looking right in the camera like I'm looking at this camera right now, and saying, I know nothing. He pulled the Colonel Schultz. I know nothing about my son's personal finance. There's a firewall. I don't know anybody he's doing business with, period. But that's a guy who's lied. I always said,
just BS.
But at the end of the day, I think conservatives were hoping that it would be instantaneous. Hunter Biden, the laptop would lead to Joe Biden, and his presidency would come down. That ain't never going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
No.
Hunter Biden.
Do you remember what I said? Though, go ahead.
Not with our
Finish
Justice Department.
And remember what I said? You poo-pooed.
I do.
Not poo-poo. I mean, poo-poo, like disregarded it. Remember I said that the Democrats have already squeezed every bit of liberal juice they can out of Joe Biden, and then they're going to discard him because they actually want Kamala Harris. That they would use this, and eventually at the right point for them, they would get off of backing up Biden and start going after him. The press is already starting to do that. You're already starting to see now you got this corruptness. Joe, you need to step away because they've used him up. And the only deal he's going to make, he'd step away tomorrow if he had assurances that his son would not go to prison.
Pardon.
Yeah. I believe that with all my. He never wanted to be president, or he would have ran. He wanted to get rich and make as much money for his kids and grandkids as he could when he left office selling his brand, the Biden brand. He didn't want to be president. He'd been vice president for 8 years. He only came off when he knew way before any of us that his son, he already lost one son, Bo, bless his heart. I feel for him. My gosh, he would want that. And he's not going to lose another one to prison. You know, him and Jill that's my theory right now. It's not a conspiracy. There's just my theory because I know what fatherhood is like. Robert, you know what fatherhood is. There's almost nothing you wouldn't do for your kid.
Yep.
Including
Absolutely.
run for election when you're in poor health if you think you can save your kid from going to prison. I mean, to me, it's as that is the logical reason. But the only thing, back on the question, but are you wanted, because I do stand corrected. You said the Biden laptop, Hunter Biden, was real. Let me say it right now. Let me do a correction.
Yeah.
You never did say that it was not real. And I could see how you would say it's not going to lead to anything politically. I think the story was kept. I think it's happening just the way the Republicans wanted it. They wanted it to be an issue in the campaign, leading up, wrapping up. They want to see a Trump-Biden matchup. They really don't want to see Biden going. They don't want to see Biden stepping away, Kamala Harris making a call to Gavin Newsom, and you got this new ticket that could galvanize the woke left and get a bigger turnout. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. But okay, listen. My theory is the reason the people on the left want open borders is they deep inside, and you don't have to go really deep. The America that we know, not just old 70-year-olds like me, the Guillermo, a millennial, and a lot of you older Gen Z grew up with America. That America, the woke left hates, despises. They think any institution, from the court system to the police department, the education system, was all created by old racist white guys. That mindset has been inculcated into a whole generation that went through high school being taught that, went through college being taught that, got into government and politics with that mindset, and are now implementing that. That group, that woke group, is who's running this country, not Joe Biden. That the squad, that mentality that America's evil, that you can't rehab it. It's not like an apartment house that has a lot of good stuff left in it, or an old home that has some good stuff. So let's rehab it. Let's keep that sink that's nice. Let's keep that bath. Let's keep that brick wall there because that's really, really nice. And let's rehab everything else. No. The woke left walks into America's house, looks around and says, take the freaking wrecking ball to this thing because nothing is worth saving. So the way you do that, you have to wreck this country economically. And they know to let these millions in, at least 10 million, which is added to the other 15 million that were here illegally before. So you're up to 25, 30 million people that the country can't afford. And then you're talking about writing checks till infinity for Ukraine. And I don't know if we want to get to that today, but that is a lost cause. And I told you on this show, took a lot of heat for that 2 years ago, what the outcome was going to be. And we're seeing it right now exactly like we said it was going to do. Running out of men, running out of money, running out of ammunition. Okay. But we may get to that today, but definitely tomorrow. But I know it's tough to accept hearing that. It is for me. Because that's the difference between this generation and past generations. Funded that 50% of the electorate had been brainwashed into believing that democracy is not important, liberty is not important, and having America be a big force around the world was wrong. It was bad. They believe, you say, well, who's going to fill that vacuum? They don't care. China? Russia? The coalition of Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, they don't care. They just want America as we know it and love it gone. They don't want the family unit with a mother and a father. They don't want secure borders to protect people. They want to defund the police. They want to create as much chaos as they possibly can because they think that is the recipe to totally destroy this white bred Christian man created country. That's my story. I'm sticking to it until it turns around and somebody shows me something different.
Well,
I think there's another component there too, Hoss, that blends right into that. Not only economically, but socially and racially.
Bingo.
Keep everybody separated. Keep them divided. Keep them fighting among themselves.
Right.
So that the government can come in and say, okay, we're going to take care of everybody now. Did you see what they're doing in New York City? The mayor of New York's doing? Giving $10,000 cards, credit cards, to illegal immigrants that are
that we're paying for.
That are reused.
But we got homeless veterans out on the street.
Yeah. So there's three components: economically, which has already started with inflation; socially, with the open borders; and racially, between all of the different ethnic groups within the country against the quote establishment, bunch of old white guys.
And the military. Because if you destroy the economy, you can't have a military. I mean, that's capable of defending freedom around the world.
Yeah.
And it's all, you call that a conspiracy. You know what? There's no saying it ain't paranoia if they're really after you. A good dose of freedom, of paranoia for freedom-loving people in this country is good. Because you tell me what's wrong or where I'm erroneous in my statements about this. When things don't make sense, when they're absolutely insane, you have to look where somebody is gaining some power. Okay? They want power. They want this to be a socialist country. Then the communist country. They actually believe that, which requires the lowering of standards for everybody. Case in point, look at Cuba. I mean, they believe it's paradise in Cuba because everybody's treated the same, like dogs.
Until you talk to the people in Cuba.
Yeah, the leaders who they have their great meals every night.
Yeah, talk to the people on the street.
Yeah.
That's why they're driving 1959 Chevrolets.
Yeah.
And trying to keep those on the road. And the gas lines, are a mile long.
And Castro and his family and the new leaders, the elite there, they get chauffeured around.
Yeah.
Here.
It's such a class distinction.
All right, can we take a break here? Or should we?
Well, I want to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's do.
Do you want to come back? You want to give your input now? Go ahead, buddy.
Well, no, I want to take a break, but when I come back, I want to talk about the Trump sneakers.
Okay.
You got to talk about the shoes because
we got to do the sneakers.
And you have to.
And that I'd like to be fined $336 million. Just
a little bit.
We'll be right back. Oh my goodness! You think Adam Schiff's going to win the senatorial race?
Yeah.
Man, I can't stand that guy. Such a mealy mouth. I can't stand that guy.
Do you ever notice?
But he's running in California, so that's your answer.
Yep.
Do you ever notice those moments in his speeches?
I'm voting for Steve Garvey because he's a great baseball player.
Exactly.
He was a little after our time, but I mean, he was, big time when we were
some
kids.
RBIs in my pocket. Cut the taxes.
Hey, Alan, the Jackie Wilson.
Yeah.
When did you want to use that?
Well, I'm going to play a lot of it tomorrow, but let's do. When we come back, let's lead with it.
Lead with it. Okay.
Yeah, we can lead with it. Did you ever notice with Adam Schiff that when he's talking, either he's doing a speech or he's just talking.